Good morning, everyone. This is the QOL pre-market analysis for Wednesday, August 12th. And we have some economic data coming out right now. See how it moves the market here. Core CPI coming in line, month over month, year over year. Probably should be pretty close, maybe a little lower. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, right on the money here. And this is going to be on the money 2.1. We'll see what happens here. So it came in online. I think they were expecting softer numbers right now. So I bet you this has a negative impact on the market, but we'll see initially. The market has been kind of consolidating over the last several days. We don't have anything else today. This federal budget balance, I'm not sure if that impacts things at all. We do have the bond auction, 10-year bond auction at 12 o'clock. That can move things. I'm surprised that's a yellow folder there. By the way, if you don't understand the way these folders work, you have yellow, orange, and red. Red lets you know that this could impact the market, and you can get some volatility when these numbers come out. Yellow, it's mild, and orange, it's medium in the pack right here. And then you have which currency that it could potentially affect. Anyways, let's get into tomorrow. You have core PPI month over month at 7:30, and what else do you have there? You've got some Fed speak also before the market opens. Mortgage delinquencies, we'll see what that number does. Anything, it's a tentative time for that. And Friday, we finish up the week with core retail sales and University of Michigan consumer sentiment report. Okay, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. So let's get into, got oil on the screen right now, so we can go over that right now. It hit this gap down here from June 15th at $84.34 a barrel. Obviously, things are still escalated in Iran. That's why oil is pushing higher. We're above the 50 and the 20-day moving average now. 20 sitting at $82.45 a barrel. We have this gap down here at $90.40, and it's just above the 100-day moving average at $88.83 a barrel. So close this gap. Close the gap down here from June 15th. You can see this gap right here. We talk about the gaps all the time. There are people that just trade gaps, right? However, if you look below us, we do have a gap up at $71.63 a barrel from July 10th. So that's promising. So maybe we pop up here, we hit this $90.40 a barrel, and then we start taking a nosedive. It does seem like it's pretty escalated right now. You're looking at a 15-minute chart. So anyways, that's all based on the tension that's happening out in the Middle East, obviously. So let's look at the VIX right now. The VIX is still flat right now, so that's positive for stocks. When you have the VIX down here, that is the volatility index. And we're below the 20 at $17.02, and the 50 is sitting at $17.27. Did not quite close this gap up at $14.91 from August 7th, so there's a little bit of a gap down here. That'll probably close. Maybe it closes today. I don't have anything below there. We do have some gap downs way above us at $25.74 from June 8th. Also, we have one last one at $30.34 from March 30th. March 30th is your inflection point, right? That's when this big rally started at the end of March, right? So let's get into the ES right now. The ES, as you can see right here, we're consolidating right now. It's just kind of hanging out in these patterns here. We did make the all-time high at 78.20 in a quarter. So above that, the only thing I have here, I've got this trend line at 88,064. And then above that, I've got this upper regressional trend line sitting here at on 83.22. On the downside here, you do have a speed zone here, right? So if you lose this, I would say this low right here, it's going to be your line in the sand. You're going to have to hold this. You have to hold 77.27.25. If you lose that, I think you can pull back down here to this previous all-time high at 76.32.25, which is also sitting above the 20-day moving average at 75.87, and then the 50-day moving average at 75.42. So there are some speed zones here, but we are stepping up higher. But we are not making new highs, and we are not making new lows. So that's consolidation. Okay, let's go to the SPY real quick. SPY is going to show you the same thing. Look at this flat line here. So it's kind of calm before the storm. and then you kind of put your levels in there for a breakout one way or the other. If you get above the 776.85 level, I don't have anything until you get up here to about this 827 level. On the downside, if you lose 767.25, this is where is this? Yeah, this right here. Let's say this is a low from on Thursday. That's going to be a big level, 767.75. If you lose that, maybe you pull back to the previous all-time high at 760.40. We do have an open point of control at 757.70. So that's something to keep in mind right here. And we also have this little tiny gap up here. I drew it on the charts here, but I don't think it's anything significant. This is your gap up here at 744.56. Right here, you can see the gap. I'll clean it up for you here. You can see this gap right here. So that right there you want to pay attention to. Also this low from July 7th at 745.21 down below. So if you do flush, this should probably be a really good area for support. Okay, let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, same thing here on the Nasdaq, kind of consolidating here. Let's see if we have any open point controls. We don't. I don't see any open point controls on here on the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq right now, if you can get above that 30,674 level, I think you push it. You can push into that 30,693, which is all-time highs here. We are above the 50. We're holding the 50 nicely, which is good. And the 20 is, we're well above the 20 as well, moving average. So the 50 is sitting at 29,504, which is good. I would say you got to hold this 29,783 level in order to continue to get some upside. It is the high from July 14th, so we are above that right now. So, and then also, I would say this August 7th high is the same thing, 29,855, and we are above it right now, just kind of hanging out there. So that's going to be a pretty important level today. You can see right now, pre-market, we're wicking around right now. So wait till the market opens to find some direction and some price action that you can actually follow and trade off of. Qs, same thing on the Qs. We are above this Friday's high of 723.50. That's your line in the sand. As long as you're above that, you can be comfortable with taking longs, possibly up into the 726.39 level. And then above that, we have a 728.54, which is August 5th's high. Above that, July 2nd, 730.83. And then I don't have anything until you get up into the 737.43 level. Above that level, we have all-time highs at 748.68, right? Downside, same thing. If you lose 723.50, you can see it's been wicking around here in pre-market. Your line in the sand is going to be that 719.32. If you flush, you're going to have to hold that level. Do we have a point of control here? Take a look at this. Actually, we do. I'm going to actually put that in here for us. We have an open point of control here from yesterday. So I will mark that on our charts. Those of you that don't know what the point of control is, it's where it measures the volume, where the heavy volume was traded, and it gives you an average price line. It's automatically put on my charts here. Actually, you know what? However, this wick would actually touch that out, so I'm going to take that off. Like it. Too close, too wicky. You've got economic data that when you have economic data that comes out, all bets are off with your levels. You have to wait till things settle down to use your technical levels, right? But right now, when you have economic data that comes out, it's the fundamental side of things. And then after the fundamentals settle in and the market finds its direction, then you can start utilizing your technicals as well. Right, so this is going to be a big level, 726.39. Got to get above that. Got to hold the 719.32. If you lose 719.32, you do have yesterday's close that it did bounce off of in respect. But if you lose yesterday's close, 711 and some change is a low from June 12th that you could possibly pull down to. Also, this 50-day moving average sitting up at 713.88, right? The ideal pullback would be this 705.80 level. It's a high, it's a break and retest, right? You look for break and retests, and you can see you had a really nice pop through this level. So you want to come down and test this level again. So I like a long down here at 705.80, or maybe you take or I like a long above the 730.83. All right, that's it for broader markets, Qs, and SPY. Let's get into the Mag 7. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. Start with NVIDIA right now. So NVIDIA is, it's making, made a lower high. and it made a lower low yesterday. It got some positive news overnight regarding financing, about $500 billion. So we'll see if that impacts the market and continue to push. If you can get above this 221.60 level, which is August 4's high, you could possibly push into this 223.63. If you get above 223.63, I don't have anything until you get above 235, right? So you could, actually, you could possibly say your line in the sand could be this 225.58 that was made in pre-market on Monday. So that could be, we could also be consolidating in here too, right? So let's, watch yourself on that level. However, you are above the moving averages. 20 is sitting at 207.80. That's all positive right now. I would say if you can get above yesterday's high, you could possibly push into this 223.63. I would be careful up there. If you get a good surge up there, then you can start making your way back to that 235 level. Okay, let's get into Apple. See if Apple got down to our levels here. So I had this 301.97 level. I said that actually, this is the level that I'm looking for. It didn't quite get down there yesterday. We are below the 50-day moving average. 50-day is sitting at 308.56. If you lose this 301.97 level, I have a 292 level. That's a 100-day moving average. It's also sitting right above this midline regressional trend line. The 291 that I have here since October of 2025, that would be some significant level. And then you also have this high here from December here. This is actually, if it flushes, this would be a really good pullback long here at 288.62. If you can get a push above this 50-day moving average at 309.56, I'd like it to push back up into this level here at 315. It's a shorter regressional trend line from April of last year, but it's still a pretty lengthy one. So it's a pretty significant level as well. You can see how it responded over here on Friday. It came up to this level and it knocked it down, and we've been stair stepping lower ever since. So maybe we got a bottom coming in here at 301.97. If we lose that, like I said, 292.42, between 291.09 to 292.42 on the downside there. Okay, let's get over to Meta. Meta was saying a pretty weak yesterday. Did try to get a little pop though into the 20. It rejected the 20. The 20 is now sitting at 606.08. And then let's see if we have any, yeah, we have a point of control here I spoke about yesterday at 583.27. And it's also sitting just below this low 585.01 from, what is that, August 6th, so Thursday of last week. I would say that this pullback long into this 583.27 is a pretty decent level. If you can get a surge and you get above the 100-day moving average at 608.41, next level I have is 618.71. You'd probably get some headwind. It's a low from May 23rd of 2025, right? So that's an ideal break and retest. So break and retest happen both on the long side and on the short side, right? So if you break a low and then you come back up here and test it, this low, which was support, now becomes resistance. It's a wall up here, right? So you come up here, watch the price action, and then maybe you could take a short back down to the 100 over there. Right? So you get yourself about $10 on a move there. Whether and ideally, this is for day trading, right? So if you're day trading options, you utilize your calls and your puts, right? For just naked calls and naked puts. What do we got here? Google. Google here, it had this gap up that closed yesterday. Actually, when did it close? Now it closed earlier. I think it closed on Friday. Yeah, it closed on Friday. So that closed right now. So I'm going to be able to take this off. But this gap down here will probably be a level that if the market pops up to it, it's sitting just above the 50-day moving average at 353.44. We do have some levels here that are, if you can push back up, the ideal long would be if you could get above this 363 level. I mean, you could potentially take a long up here. You probably could get some resistance like you did yesterday at this 356 level. And that was a June 18th low. If you can get above that, then you could push into this 363.09. If you get a really good surge and it doesn't respect this level, then I think you can cover this speed zone that happened here back on Wednesday of last week. And then you push up into that 373.63 level and you cover this speed zone right here, right? We talk about speed zones all the time. They're everywhere. You get one directional and then eventually it comes back up and fills it. Here was straight up and it filled it, right? So now it created a speed zone on the way down. And what are these speed zones? These speed zones are a combination of things. People getting out of their position, whichever direction the market's going, and also taking on new positions. So The speed zone becomes for the people that took on their new positions, right? So very important. Got to hold this 341.98 on the downside here. Also, this higher end regressional trend line I have here. It's a shorter one, but it's still a decent level at 340.33 if you flush there. So not thinking long until you can get above this 100-day moving average at 349.25. If you do, then you could start retracing some of this downside here, maybe up into this 352.83 level. Okay, let's get into Amazon here. Amazon kind of weak these days here. Got to hold this 270.73 level. If we lose that, I don't have anything until you get down to this 262.07 level. On the upside here, if you can get above this 275.48, maybe you can get a few dollars out of it up into Friday's high, 278.31. I'm not thinking long until you get a good push and hold above this 278.31 level. You can see how we're just rejecting these upward moves right here, right? And it's just kind of stepping lower, slightly, not aggressively, but still stepping lower, right? And you do have a big speed zone down here. That's why I don't have anything until you get to 262.07, right? And then ideally, and then if you do pull back and you lose that 257.51, it's a 76.4% Fibonacci level that I have here. But we're not far from the all-time highs here, 287.20. So keep that in mind as well. Microsoft. Same thing on Microsoft. Big speed zone that we have over here from Thursday of last week. You lose 493.50, which is December's high. We flushed to 472.21. Big flush that I have down here. But this could be a good break and retest here, right? So it already utilized it once here last Thursday rather. Broke and held it. So now we come down and maybe we test it again, right? You break and you come back down. You break the level and you come back down to retest the level. Break it and retest. And this is a high from December of last year, so pretty decent level, 493.50. If you flush, you could try to take your long out there, but I'd be careful if you lose that level because this is going to be a big speed zone here on the downside. On the upside, if you can get it, you can see this low here. Same thing on the upside, break and retest. You come back down here for a long. Same thing on the downside here. So you broke the low. So you broke that low. Now it could be coming back up to test the 506, and it could reject as well. I don't see any open point of controls here. So that part is good and clear. So I like the longs if you break and hold above 506. If you do that, then I think you can push into the September high from last year, 519.30. And then above that, I don't have anything until you get to the all-time highs of 555. So I think it could take some news to push this, this catalyst. Maybe it opens up over the weekend instead of it during the trading hours, which is unfortunate sometimes. So SpaceX, not trading it, but I'm covering it. Not enough volume in here yet. We got to wait till there's more float. Maybe there needs to be a split. Holding this 135, it's the opening day low, right? Big level there. We have point of control levels that are open down below 129.20, 129.22, and the 123.61. And then just below that, we have the 20-day moving average at 120.68. And then also this FOMC high at 117.59. Big speed zone here on the downside. Same thing. I think if you lose this 129.22, your next level here is this 123.61 because that's where a lot of volume came into place. And then below that for some level of support is 120.68. On the upside here, maybe you hold this 135. You could take a long, maybe back up into this 143.33. But based on what it did yesterday up here at the close from Monday, it respected that 139 level. So I would expect that if the market pops up there, you get some headwind. If you can get a break, you get a push above this 138.77 level, then you go 143.33 could be your next target. We also have an open point of control at 148.04 there. And then you also have this IPO open at 150. So that'll be a significant level too if you pop up into that level as well. Okay, that's it for the Mag 7 plus SpaceX. Let's get into Tesla. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video for me. Tesla, let's start out holistically and look at this view here that we have. Let me clean this up for us. So this orange area here is a gap down here from July 22nd at 372.90. We are in a speed zone here, right? So the speed zone right? Well, we talked about just a minute ago, when the market sells off in one direction, it's a combination of things. People covering their longs and new positions being made. Well, at some point, these new position shorts have to start covering. They probably started covering a lot of maybe some of their shorts right here, but some of them that still think that there's more downside is at some point they're going to have to say, okay, well, I'm wrong. This 337.24 is probably going to give us a little headwind up here. It's an April low of this year. The same thing we talk about the break and retest. We broke through this low significantly, and now we could be coming up here to reject it here, right? So you got to watch that as the market moves today. You pop through that, I think you can get to that 342.11 before your next level of headwind. And then we have this Fibonacci level of 61.8% at 347.10. And this is from the all-time highs, right? So this Fibonacci level, it goes back from January of 2023 low all the way up to the high from December 16th of 2025. Very significant level, that 347.17. If you can get a push through there, then I think you make your headway back up to that 316.64 as we start covering all these shorts up here, right? Not quite sure that Tesla is out of the woodworks just yet. However, it is showing, some significant stair stepping for the last, where is this for ever since August started right now. So we'll see. You got to watch your price action, right? Let's take a look at the day chart here. The day chart is showing that big gap down here, right? And that's what we look at. But now, one thing I want you to look at here, this candle from yesterday, right? What is that candle? The candle's a doji candle here, right? This is an indecision, right? When you open and you close right on it, when you have a wick up and you have a wick down here, that is buyers and sellers not making a decision right now. So right now, I would say that looking at today's chart, I would be careful up here. Not to say that we can't power through it. Tesla is like one of those stocks that, when Tesla gets on a tear, it goes its direction it wants to go. But you can see this big rejection that we had here at 336.20. If we could pop up through there and get through that 336.20, like I said, this 337.24 is a level that could possibly give you some headwind. But I would feel very comfortable if we can get a good push through there and hold this 337.24, start making our way back up into this gap down area. That 342.11 would be a good area as well. On the downside here, you can see this open point of control we had here from the 10th. It's also a high from August 4th, right? Break and retest from August 4th. Where are you? Oh, it's back here. Let's see if I can get it over here. It's not on the screen. Let me give you a little more time for us. Okay, so you can see right in here. Yeah, where's your August 4th there, buddy? Okay. So right here, you had this August 4th high. You had a big rejection here, so that became a good level. You broke above it, you drop below it again, and then you broke above this level right now. So if you come back down into this 329.57 level like it did yesterday, it was a pretty quick break and retest. It happened on the open, right? Still going to be a pretty significant level. I would say your line in the sand today. Got to hold this 333.73 level. It's a high from Friday. That you can see this right here. So that is starting to break it right now. So do you take it long right now? Possibly, another way. If you do the break and retest, you wait for it broke, come back down here to test it again, right? This is a level right here, 337.24. If the market pushes up there, I would watch yourself. If it plows through it and it continues to hold this level, then 342.11 is what you're looking at on your upside over there. Let's see if we have any point of controls here. We don't have any point of controls here. We do have one down here at 318.91. Right, you can see this point of control that happened here on August 6th, Thursday of last week. So that's going to be a level if you do lose its momentum and you plow down here. 318.91 would be a really decent level pullback long there, right? So you can see this 337. It's sitting right above the 20-day moving average at 336.97. I would not be surprised if you get a little headwind up there at 337 even, right? That's a psychological number. If you get that thrust and you get a hold above that 20, I like the 342.11 for your next target, and then above that 347.17, like I said. All right, that's it for Tesla. And what are we going to do for today? Today, not even going to mess with today's expiration date. As you know, since January 26th, we've had they added 3 expiration dates for the week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the only time that's altered is if there's earnings coming out on that same day. Like, so they had last earnings call for Tesla was on a Wednesday, so they didn't have expiration date on that same day because the implied volatility was way out of whack there. So they just move it to the next day. So I am going to trade the 14th, which is Friday. And I'm going to start out with the 335 calls. You can see the market's above that right now. So this 395 pre-premium will open up in the $4 range. I have the 330 puts up here, and they closed at 355, and we are above by a couple dollars right now. So this will probably drop, probably low threes, because we do have now, going to have today's trading, tomorrow's trading, and Friday's trading. So you have 3 days of theta on here, and theta is your time decay. And what that time decay means is that the IV crush on your premium. So when you're trading 0DT, the price action on these premium prices will fluctuate, anywhere from 60 to 70 cents, within a few minutes, right? So you have to watch yourself on that. This is a little more balanced, and you can use your price levels, and you can get into a trade, and you can let the trade resonate, see what you're going to do right now. So I'm going to start off today at 335 calls expiring on Friday the 14th, as well as the 330 puts that expire on Friday the 14th as well. That's going to be it for today. If there's anything that you want me to cover that I don't, please drop me a note down in the comment area. I'll be glad to cover anything you want. However, I do not cover any penny stocks. And then go down to the link below, and then you can join go to our website. You can join our weekly newsletter that we put out. We put out a 21 edition so far, and it's free. All you have to do is put your name and an email address so you can get on the mailing list. And then you will get that every Sunday at some point, usually before 5 o'clock. In that newsletter, we pretty much cover the week in review, and then we cover what's expected for the following week with economic data, geopolitical news, any earnings, price levels, of course, for all the broader markets, cryptos. Pretty much the only cryptos I do is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then also the Mag 7 and SpaceX is now added to that mix as well. So other than that, that's going to be it. If I don't see you there, also, you can all come to the trade room, and we do live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, and those links are down below. All you have to do is click on the WAP link, and it will direct you how to sign up. Aside from that, if I don't see everybody in the trade room, I'll see